And welcome back, Edmond State Senator Adam Pugh joining us this week on Oklahoma Chronicle. Adam, thanks so much for being here.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Evan, for having me.
We appreciate it. You, of course, are the chairman of the Senate Education Committee. We love talking about education here on this program. We're doing it this week. Just finished talking to Chad Wormington about this Oklahoma Competes plan that I know you are already hearing about there at the Capitol.
Absolutely. And been having these conversations really for several years now. It's no secret that we've been lagging in our literacy scores for a number of years. Everyone talks about what some other states are doing. You know,
the Mississippi Miracle.
The Mississippi Miracle,
Yeah.
That's right. And so for several years now, I think our committee has really been committed to elevating reading scores. I think it's the foundation for everything else that's going to happen in a child's journey through education, and so we've got to get this right.
Well, you used the word committed right there, and one of the things that we were talking about is kind of the lack of commitment when it comes to really holding a long-term focus on these issues. That, you know, new leaders come in, they got new plans, new ideas, and what was a 10-year plan has suddenly become a 2-year plan, and now we're on to something else. Do you think that we are at a point now in Oklahoma where leaders are going to be able to set a plan and stay on that plan for the amount of time necessary, even if it is 10, 12 years?
Well, you know, I'll joke anyway that the only thing miraculous about Mississippi was that they stayed committed to this now going into 2 decades. So even as leadership changed in the legislature, the governor's office changed several times in the time period of them, you know, going from bottom of the nation to one of the top states in the country, they stayed laser focused and dedicated lots of resources. And when we say literacy, we got to kind of define, what does that mean? It's not just a textbook teaching a kid how to read. They invested in professional development for teachers. They aligned their colleges of education that was training, you know, new teachers and candidates on the science of reading. They aligned their curriculum. They continued to invest in paraprofessionals and teachers' aides inside the classroom, the right technology so that we could leverage those things in a classroom.
And all that takes money.
It does.
And you know, and the State Chamber of Commerce, they're not going to be the ones paying the bills and allocating that. It's up to legislators really with the budget. So where is all the money, the extra millions of dollars it's going to take to pay these professionals? Where's that going to come from, you think?
You know, one of the things that we've done a really good job of the past few years is actually putting a significant amount of money into some different pots of money for savings. And some of those savings we can't touch unless there's maybe a revenue shortfall. But
are you talking about the rainy day fund?
Yes,
or are you talking about
but
other
there is
stuff?
some other dollars like the Revenue Stabilization Fund. We've got money in the 1017 fund, which is just constitutionally required for us to spend on education. What a better way to take that money and reinvest it in education than in helping children learn how to read. So I do think there'll be dollars available, and because everybody's talking about this. Now, they may be coming at it from different perspectives, but everyone is talking about increasing our literacy proficiency rates. And so I think there will be a lot of legislators at the Capitol that will be willing to make some investments into the right. We got to make sure it's the right thing.
Well, I know this past year there were so many new bills and laws that came out around education, from the cell phone bans to, I mean, so many things happening, of course. And I'm curious, what do you see coming for 2026? I know you yourself have legislation that's filed. You're vice chair in the Education Committee, Ali Seifert. She's also has some things going. What are you excited about?
Yeah, well, I'll start with literacy because we're going to scale it and we're going to continue to work on it. We're talking to teachers, and we want to make sure that their perspective is heard, and we're valuing their expertise, and they're a part of us crafting this legislation. But I'm going to say at the same time that we're working on literacy, we have to work on numeracy as well. That's right, because we know that as the economy becomes more high-tech, it requires high-level STEM skills and critical thinking. We can't wake up a decade from now and have caught ourselves up in literacy but find ourselves behind in numeracy and all those STEM skills. So you'll actually see a dual-tracked program for us focusing on literacy and numeracy. Everybody is going to continue to talk about teacher retention and teacher recruitment, right? It starts with getting a great qualified man or woman inside the classroom. And so I haven't yet been privy to all of the pieces of legislation my colleagues have filed, but I know a number of us will continue to work on recruitment and retention strategies. We've got to turn this profession into one where we elevate it, where we attract the best and the brightest in our state.
Tell me about the Grow Your Own Education program. We just have about a minute and a half,
Sure.
2 minutes. So, but this is something that you've launched, correct? And,
Yes.
and it just went live?
That's correct. 1 November,
Okay.
we officially launched this program, and what we're doing now is foundations or school districts that have an in-house program where they take paraprofessionals or support staff and put them on a path to certification. The state is now investing up to $5 million to match those foundation dollars or those discretionary dollars from school districts. And the great thing about this program is you've already been vetted into that school district and into that community. You know the families, you know the classrooms, you know the kids that you're going to be in front of when you're a classroom teacher. And so we're matching the dollars from local districts with state money. We're putting these paras and support staff through a certification process, getting their degree, getting teachers certified in the state of Oklahoma, and then we're going to bring them back right into those same classrooms. And I think it's a tremendous opportunity. We're one of the first states in the country, actually, to have this program kind of codified in law as a state. And I've heard wonderful things. I just talked to Oklahoma City Public Schools. I think they're up to now 98 folks in this class.
That are in this program, that
Yes,
are
and
coming
so
up?
in this cohort, and so that's just going to be another tool that schools will have to be able to grow our teacher workforce.
I know you're running for state superintendent. You announced that. It's a crowded field, and
Yes.
so we do plan on bringing in as many, if not all, of the people who are running for this office in the next year as we move forward. But I'm just curious. It's been such a turbulent year when it comes to leadership at the state level. What do you think is the type of leader that is needed right now for Oklahoma?
First off, I think it's someone who can communicate well. Even I, as a legislator, found at times that there was a lack of communication, understanding what was happening, working in partnership with the State Department of Education. It's the most personal thing we do. It's the most common experience we have is to raise our kids and send them off to school every day.
And do you think that's one of the things that was lacking?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of school districts, legislators, teachers around the state that just felt like either they weren't getting communicated with,
Right.
or when there was communication, maybe it wasn't the kind of communication that would edify and uplift the profession in our schools around the state.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're out of time on that. Look forward to talking to you more about your your race there for state superintendent. And thanks for talking about
my
education
pleasure.
with us
Thank you
here.
so much for having
We
me.
appreciate it. Adam Pugh, state senator from Edmond.